Hey, what's up? I'm just gonna demo some throwing knife techniques. It's not really a tutorial, just gonna show you sort of the technique, how it goes. So when you just start getting into throwing knife, you kind of sometimes just get into the habit of maybe I'll just chuck it, see how many times I can spin it. You're gonna need a lot of luck to stick knives like that. So I've been practicing this sort of technique. What's actually happening is you're actually sort of creating a really round sort of rotation arc with your arm, and instead of letting the knife do that and spin, what you're actually doing is you're actually going like that, and you're pushing down on that the tail end of the blade, and you're pushing down on it, and you're actually counteracting the spin. So instead of letting it go like that, I'm actually upon release pushing down and actually slowing that rotation. So instead of getting an unwieldy number of rotations, I'm actually just getting pretty much from there to a quarter rotation. I'll just demo a couple throws, and you can just watch, I guess. As the blade is leaving, I use my middle finger to sort of counteract rotation on it. You should be able to throw pretty much anything. So this is a 60D nail. You should be able to get these for like $1.50 or something at the hardware store, something like that. You should be able to throw these as well. Going left-handed. These are pretty fun. These are just little fun shaped things. You don't think they would stick because they look a bit odd, but they kind of work. It's a little weird where you release from. It isn't really set in stone because it's just a weird shape. So sometimes they don't really spin the way you expect them. Then you got these really cool things. I always get my rhythm thrown off because they're a little bit different shape. You have to spin just a little bit more. See, because of the shape, you can put a bit more force. Stop that one up. You can put a bit more force in it. If you've got something like that, obviously the string probably might get in the way a little bit. Something like that you can even throw as well. Takes quite a bit more work and balance. I wouldn't recommend it. These blades are not meant to withstand throwing force, but you can throw them if need be. If you have a blade like that, something like that will stick as well. If you have even swords, swords obviously, they're not necessarily meant to be thrown, but again, you can pretty much everything there is to the technique is just pretty much counteracting the rotation of the blade. It's pretty simple. Hey, thanks for joining me today. Jarrell here. I hope you're having a good holiday season. Today, I've had a topic on my mind that I've been considering how to discuss for a while because it is something that's both serious and important. And that is, how much of your life should you tell to other people? How much should you let other people see? Especially in this space here on YouTube, we don't actually know each other, though I do enjoy chatting with you guys in the comments and hanging out on Discord and just having fun with you on the YouTube channel here. There is always going to be some separation here between who I actually am, who you actually are. And it's not the aspect of, oh, I'm going to be this internet celebrity, because I have no interest in that. None of my thought process when it comes to creating my games or writing or music or creating YouTube videos, none of that factors in to my thought process. I have no interest in celebrity or internet popularity. But especially when it comes to raising kids and helping other people with their kids, there always has to be a degree of consideration when it comes to how much you tell and how much you show. So this video, I want to discuss the aspects of life that you need to really think about. You really need to consider before you tell other people about those aspects. Say, for example, I was maybe a little bit of a troublemaker as a young man, and I was always building things, and then as a teenager that evolved, as you can say. My friends and I as teenagers got into a fair amount of trouble having fun. We went on adventures, had misadventures, and when it comes to telling younger people about, earlier in life, there are things that you don't say because they may be taken the wrong way. They may end up being a negative influence. What you think might be a cool, fun story that you could tell a young person might actually put that young person in danger because they may want to emulate your behaviors. They may want to copy what you've done in the past. And so this video is about how I consider those things. And every single piece of information that I put online, that I put on the internet, especially here on YouTube, I put a significant amount of thought into what I say and what I show people from the perspective of, is this going to help other people or will it potentially put people in danger? Sorry, I'm just thinking about all the fun I had as a teenager. It was really, there's going to be a lot about my life that I will not tell you. There's going to be a lot that I should not tell you and I will not. And that is because I know that there's so many young people out there watching me. So many young people have commented and said that they really like the hobbies that I've shown them and they want to try those hobbies. And that is why I want to be extremely careful with what I show you. What I think is cool and exciting and interesting, what you think is cool and exciting and interesting, it may not be taken the right way, and it may put other people at risk, and they may want to, because I hear stories from people older than me when I was younger, and I thought, oh, that'd be so cool to try that. I'd really like to try that. So there's going to be parts of my life that I'll never be able to tell you about, that I just won't be able to talk about. Even people in my real life, there are things that I don't tell them because it's dangerous. It would not be safe. And you might be thinking, oh, why is Jarrell beating around the bush and this and that? So one of the things that I won't be able to tell you and really shouldn't tell you is that, as a younger man, I really enjoyed building weapons. And one such weapon is this gauntlet that is a flamethrower. So you fit this through your arm like here. And this is something that I really shouldn't show you because I know that younger people will want to try and copy this because they'll think it's cool. So how this works is that I designed this to use a fuel canister that I could get from the hardware store for very cheap. You can see the nozzle attached there, so it's easy to replace that and get new fuel. You can see it feeds there, and there is this trigger mechanism here, and if I pull down on that from the inside, it will eject the fuel. I've removed the
fire aspect of this. It's designed to take a certain type of barbecue lighter. I dismantle it and I can run the wiring through there, and it mounts in there. So there's an internal trigger. So you pull the first trigger, and then there would be a pilot light. You pull the second trigger, and then you can see that this metal nozzle will spray the fuel out the front, and it is a flamethrower. This was designed as well to be padded. So it is padded in there. So say, for example, I don't know, if somebody swung a baseball bat, I have tested this with bats, sticks, pipes. From the vast majority of angles, as long as you catch it from the right angle, it can absorb the shock there. These points are designed to be tough, but also if you were to hit someone, if they weren't armored or padded in any way, if you just give them a little jab with that, that's going to hurt real bad. You can see the 4 points there on the end. This is made out of PVC that I sprayed with a matte black. And if you wear like a leather jacket and a balaclava, this thing looks so cool. And so I would have friends, obviously friends my age, not younger people. I would never show this to a younger person because they would try to build one. And this is, you could hurt yourself. You could really hurt yourself trying to make something like this, and then also using something like this. I haven't, because I'm very, very careful with this stuff. I always double check and triple check all my work because I know how dangerous this kind of thing is. But you know, I'll show you the inside there. You can see sort of the metal parts that hold everything in place. But yeah, I've had friends come over and we just sort of had fun seeing what we could melt, and you know, you kind of feel like that first the first time Iron Man used a flamethrower in Iron Man 1, you know, and just seeing what we could melt, and yeah, it was cool. But those are the kind of things about my life that I need to keep quiet. Even for the young people in my life, I have to be very careful, and I never bring up that kind of stuff. And so for you, I want to extend the same respect, the same courtesy, and the same consideration, because I do have respect for you. I think of all of you out there as real people. I don't think of you as numbers on a screen, and I don't want to influence you in a way that would be dangerous. So please don't try to build a flamethrower gauntlet. But I mean, it's cool though, right? So thanks very much for watching. That's what I wanted to discuss today. But I mean, if that, I built that before 3D printers, right? But I have a 3D printer, and I've been thinking about, oh, it'd be fun to work on that kind of thing. But my time is dedicated these days to working on game development, so I don't have time for that kind of stuff. I don't know if anyone would be interested in watching me build another one, you know, improved and enhanced and more refined. But that's the kind of thing that I got up to as a teen and as a young adult, and also into my mid-20s, until I leaned away from that and focused more on my career and professional side. So I just won't be able to tell you all of my adventures. I would love to share all of, you know, the adventures that I've gone on, and spending time in the wilderness and the outdoors and exploring, but there are things that I just won't be able to tell you, and I hope you understand. So thanks very much for enjoying the channel, for hanging out and having a laugh. I appreciate all of you who understand what I'm going for here. I don't care about politics. I don't really care about leaning to one side or the other. I don't care, man. I just want to have a cool time. I want to have fun. I want to have a laugh. I want to improve my skills, and I want to learn more skills. So, hey, what I've been working on with games is I've been working on a couple different concepts for live community games, which means that stuff that we can all work on together. So I'm developing the game, but we can hang out on live streams, and you guys can just throw out ideas for, like, oh, wouldn't this be cool if this was a content, or if this was a character or an enemy. And then I've got a couple, you know, simple, smaller games that I can work on the live stream, and they can be played in a web browser and enjoyed in real time, and we can just maintain that long term. So I'm working on a war simulation game where we can all just come up with weird, funny ideas for characters and new units, and just throw it out there, and we can make whatever. All right, so please look forward to that. I'm working on that, and probably on the Patreon I'll just start putting up a link to the beta, so that people that are Patreon supporters can enjoy that and try it early. And then maybe late this year, early next year, I might have like a public beta where people can try a little bit of this idea, and then we can hang out on live streams, and we can throw out ideas and just make new environments and enemies and characters. Just something fun that we can all do to hang out together and spend some time. Thanks very much, everyone, and don't forget, your holiday decorations or Krampus will come and slap your little bum. Take care. So the night goes on, and we are just relaxing and enjoying taking photos. I've got other cameras, so I'm letting Derek shoot. Thomas has his own camera. And we hear something in the distance. And I'm not sure if anyone noticed it at first, and I didn't really want to say anything because I didn't want to panic Darian. He was already feeling a little bit worried from when we walked across the covered bridge. But I heard something, and as we're laughing and talking, I kind of say, hold on guys for a second, I just want to hear something really quick. And I hear a light yipping, and you can hear it in the distance. It's just not quite a growl, not quite a bark, it's quite high-pitched, and I heard it coming from one direction, and I thought, okay, that sounds like a coyote. Not a big deal. And I said, let's try and keep our voices down and we'll hear it. And at this point, it had already been about a 15 to 20 minute walk from the car where the parking lot was. And we had scrambled across some rocks and boulders. And we're taking photos. We're trying to hold still. We don't want to vibrate the cameras. The trick with the camera is to have it on the tripod. You open the shutter, you press the shutter button, the shutter on the camera opens, it lets light in, but it needs to stay open. Normally the shutter in the camera stays open for a fraction of a second, but to do night photography, you've got to keep it open for 15, 20, 30 seconds. And in that moment, you hear a loud click. You hear the shutter snap open in your camera. And when that happens, you keep quiet. It feels like you're holding your breath. It's almost as if you can hear the light entering your camera, etching onto the sensor, creating this brilliant landscape photo. So we all synchronize, we take our shot, and we sit there in silence and we wait. And the yipping gets closer and closer. And I said, hey guys, I'm not sure if we should pack up pretty soon here. I think that coyote is getting closer. And Darian's saying, oh, no, I'm really enjoying this. I'm starting to have fun. I think I'm learning a lot. And Derek and Thomas and I had been in somewhat situations before, and they're kind of going, well, we'll start walking back a little bit and we'll see what's happening. So we frame up again, set our shutters for 30 seconds, hit the shutter, snap. We're holding our breath in silence. And then we hear it. And the yipping gets louder and louder, but suddenly it's not just from one direction like it was before. I can hear it coming from two different directions now. And I'm thinking, uh-oh, that's really bad if I can hear it actively coming from two different directions now. And it's getting louder and closer and closer. And I'm thinking, we need to pack up. So Thomas, Derek, and I pick up our stuff. We start walking back, and Darian says, oh, no, man, just one more shot. This is going really great. It's going awesome. And we're thinking, shit, okay, we'll let him take one more shot. So he sets up. He takes about another minute to set up. And he doesn't really believe me about the yipping. Hits the shutter button on his camera. Snap. It's dead silent for a second. But then suddenly there's a loud, sharp yip, and I can hear it coming from three different directions now. It's coming from the left, from the right, and from right ahead of us. And I said, we have to go now. And at that point, we can hear these things are close. And Darian looks at me and he goes, oh shit. And I said, grab your camera now. And his camera has not even finished taking a photo. That shutter is still open. And he grabs the camera. We all grab our gear. And we are running at this point, and we think, holy shit, okay. And I already had my camera tucked away at that point. I had it back in my bag, had my backpack on, and I'm carrying my tripod, and we are hauling ass, but we are still in amongst the boulders and the rocks, so we're scrambling and tripping. and we're moving, and I can hear the yipping close behind us now. It was probably only about 60 yards away from us, and we are hauling ass. And we're basically sprinting across these rocks and boulders, and we're jumping. And my hand slipped at one point, and I dropped my tripod, and we make it. We run. I run a couple steps, and I look back, and I said, "Oh shit." Thomas and Derek look back, and I'm calculating, in my brain, time has frozen for a moment as I'm thinking to myself, should I stop? Should I go back and get the tripod? Because these things are close. I can hear it, and there's definitely at least 5 of them. This is loud at this point. And I'm looking at them. It would have been wiser for me to keep running, but I sprinted back, and I grabbed it, picked up my tripod, and I'm trying to catch up to the others now. They've gone on without me. And we're moving, and we're moving, and we're starting to make some distance. We can hear it. We're starting to get away from these things. And then I hear a slam and a clatter, and I look back, and Darian had tripped. And I said, "Come on, man, come on." And he goes, "I'm stuck. My leg is stuck." And his foot had gotten jammed in between the boulders there. He had slipped between a crevice, and he was trying to pull himself out, but he had stepped in so hard, he was sprinting at a full bore, and I'm not sure, oh shit, I don't know if he's broken his leg. So I run back, I grab his leg, we're trying now, Derek is there too, we're trying to pull his leg out, and these things are just getting louder and louder. We hear it, yip, yip, and we're thinking, shit, we are about to get ambushed by a pack of coyotes. We are screwed. And just when it seems like we're not going to be able to get his leg out, we yank his leg out, we start running, and we finally make it to the pavement, and at that point we are at full bore. We are sprinting as hard as we possibly can. We are drenched in sweat, and we're passing through houses. We run through the street lamps, and we're trying to look behind us, and we hear, as soon as we're in the street and we're under the street lamps and we run past the Rick's Saloon sign, the yipping had faded behind us, and it was almost as if they didn't want to follow us across the road. They wanted to stay in amongst the boulders along the river. And we run back to the car. We have all of our hands on the car as if it's home base. And we're looking at each other. And Darian goes, "Holy shit. Oh my God. You were right. You were right. This thing does actually happen. Stuff like this does happen." And Derek and Thomas and I look at each other, and we are laughing our asses off. And we're saying, "I told you, man. I told you this actually happens." And he goes, "I should have believed you. I should have believed you." Hop back in the car, and we just sat, and I think we must have had some chips and some snacks and some sodas waiting for us, and we just decompressed and we caught our breath before we drove back. We were pretty quiet and uncomfortable for the first half hour, but as soon as we sort of hit the lights of civilization, we got back through Oakdale, we just took a deep sigh of relief and started laughing about it. And that's the story for tonight. That's the time we got ambushed by a pack of coyotes. Thanks for sticking through to the end. And here's the small twist at the end of the story. The guy that I took to show night photography to, his name is actually Darian. I mean, there's no reason to make up a fake name. There's the twist. His name is actually Darian. So thanks very much for spending some time with me and coming to hang out. I hope you enjoyed that story. Let me know if you'd like to hear more of these kinds of stories. Please take care of yourselves. Be well. Okay, I'll come up with some cool, funny videos for you. Take care. Have a great week. Have a seat. We're going to talk. My name is Jarrell. You might know me as the guy who put on the suit and did industry speeches. I covered a number of industry topics. I identified opportunities for the industry to move away from malpractices and move towards better practices, focusing on integrity, honesty, and transparency. I have made it very clear that I am not a YouTuber. I am a professional working in the games industry. I made it very clear that I'm not here for attention, and I will sometimes be covering topics and presenting topics with speeches that you will not always understand. I told you that whatever I discuss here on industry topics will be for the gamers. I am against anti-consumer practices. I'm against pro-corporate. And I asked you to be patient, to listen, and to trust me. I said everything I say in my videos will not be just literal. There's a lot of meaning to what goes into these videos, and they are not literally just to make a video for attention. They are to guide people to sharing their feedback, to lead a conversation toward a discussion, towards people sharing their perspectives, but also showing the industry how you respond to various topics with various tones and subjects, how you respond to certain situations, how you respond to information. Now, when the announcement for the Switch 2 was launched, things were not going well. There were many negative reactions online, and I posted a number of videos that were not just literal. They were prompts. They were prompts for you to share your feedback so the industry could see how you feel and how you respond to certain subjects. It did not go well in the fact that people, instead of receiving any information or viewing the matter in a subjective way, merely through tantrums, people did not care about the facts. They ignored the facts, and they only focused on hatred and anger. And people only focused on stoking that anger and hatred. And because of that, people turned on me. I was slandered online, which does not matter to me. Again, I do not care about reputation. I have no interest in popularity. But people were slandering me for a time period, and not a single content creator stood up in my defense. Now, what does that show the industry? It shows the industry that when people are shown information and facts, the hate mob online will disregard any information and won't actually watch videos and won't actually listen. I posted a number of videos to show what would happen, and you guys proved that you do not actually watch videos, you do not actually listen to information, you outright ignore it and focus on just creating hatred online. Now, what do you think you have just shown the games industry? You have just shown the games industry that there is no reason for them to listen to you. You have just shown them that there is no reason for them to accept any of your perspectives or feedback because you just act like children. There is no reason for them to say, wait, maybe these consumers are onto something. Unfortunately, I expected much better out of all of you. This is entirely my fault. This is not your fault. This is entirely my fault because I believed in you. I believed you had the maturity and the intelligence to understand what I was telling you, to understand information that was presented to you, and I'm very disappointed. Again, I have no interest in popularity. I do not care that people are slandering me online and spreading lies. That has no bearing on my life. That doesn't mean anything to me. What matters to me is that I can no longer create these speech videos addressing industry matters because of how you guys responded. Because I did a video, you guys ignored all of the information and turned everything into hatred, hate content, into slandering, and then nobody stood up and said, wait a second, hold on, maybe there's some information in here. I've been watching all of your videos. I keep an eye on the industry, I watch what all of you post, and I'm very disappointed. I really believed in you guys. So, I have been the only industry professional addressing this matter in the public space in a direct way. Do you understand that? Are there any other professionals putting on a suit and addressing these matters in a public and open way? Who has been fighting for you for the past year? When the previous CEO of Unity, John Riccitiello, put in anti-developer and anti-consumer practices and was going to tear apart Unity as a company and rupture the industry, I first put on the suit and tie, I spoke, and we were able to remove the CEO that was destroying Unity. That is extremely difficult to do. You cannot just make that happen. That does not happen every day. That is extremely difficult. Now, my set of skills come from the industry. I am accustomed to dealing with multi-million-dollar CEOs and business owners. That is what I've done in the past. I know how to deal with them. And you do not deal with them by just throwing tantrums. I asked you to trust me, and you didn't. And because of that, I can't make these speech videos anymore. Do you understand the reasoning why? You've just destroyed our credibility. This was an endeavor with you and me, and you've destroyed our credibility with your behavior online over the past week, 2 weeks, or whatever it is. There was still so much more work that we need to do in the industry. And it is very disappointing. But unfortunately, I'll have to do this work alone now. Whatever work that I have to do in the industry now has to be behind closed doors, in stuffy boardrooms. I'm so disappointed in you. I really believed in you guys. So moving forward, I will not be addressing any industry topics whatsoever, because I can't anymore. You destroyed our credibility. Great work. I told you everything I said is not literal. I told you these videos are prompts to show the industry how you respond to stimulus, to information, and you responded in the absolute worst way possible. You could not have responded worse. And the only reason I am upset is because I believed in you. I thought you were more mature. I thought you were more intelligent. Moving forward, this channel will be strictly fun, education, and entertainment. I will not be addressing industry topics. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Thought it'd be good if we had a little bit of a chat here and just connect again, just person to person. You guys know that I'm not a YouTuber, right? You know that I'm just a normal, random dude. There are people out there who properly do YouTube, and they're really making a proper effort of it. They're doing all the right things, and I really respect those people for doing it properly. I'm only making these videos because you guys have asked me to keep making them. It's not something I'm setting out to do full time, and I understand that you guys really enjoyed the videos. I've lost track of all the people that have told me that my videos bring them a lot of positivity, that they're the highlight of their week, and that is why I'm continuing to make these videos. But I have no intention of ever being a full-time professional YouTuber or anything like that. And so because you guys want me to keep making videos, the fun, positive, funny stuff, I'll keep making them. People in the industry and gamers have asked me to be a leader in the public space for the games industry. People have asked me to be in the public space as a positive influence for people, and that's difficult. It's time consuming, and you have to spend energy considering all of those things, and I will do those things because people have asked it of me. But I want to ask you for something in return, and I will explain that. So I will keep doing these videos for you. I will do everything I can to help lead the industry into a better direction that is healthier, that focuses on creativity and integrity as opposed to whatever it's doing now. But I just got this weird unhinged comment on one of my other videos, and it's from someone that was complaining about a video that I made more than half a year ago about some random game called Concord. And I don't know, this person was so unhinged. And it made me really sad that this person very clearly spends their entire life on the internet, on social media, and their brain is so stunted developmentally that they're stuck, they're trapped in the mentality of a small child. And I felt so terrible for this person that I've met a lot of people in my life. I've been places, I've met a lot of people. I've seen people grow and I've seen people not. And this commenter is someone that will never, ever grow to learn what happiness is. They will never find themselves. They will never see the world. They will never achieve their potential. And they'll never, ever be happy because they'll be miserable. They'll waste their entire life on the internet fucking around. And that, I'm saying that to you, not as a professional right now. I'm not speaking to you as a professional, as an educator, as what I normally conduct my videos as. I be a professional. But this person is going to spend their entire life fucking around and wasting their entire lives. I'm speaking to you right now just as a guy, and I think to many of you, you sort of see me as a figure to look up to. And so I'm speaking on a person-to-person level. And so I will keep making these videos, but the thing that you have to do for me is this. I am asking you to live your life, to go outside, go out and find something beautiful to care about. Look for new things to learn about in the world. Look for things you haven't seen before. Meet people, learn to understand people, learn to listen to people who are different to you. Live your life. Your life is not here on the internet. It's not on YouTube. It's not on social media. It's absolutely not on social media. That is not life. This is not living. This is not connecting with people. This is not socializing. It is mental retardation, and that is what social media is. And I see it, and it's heartbreaking to have to receive comments from people who have been so deeply and permanently affected by social media. And it breaks my heart to think that those of you out there who enjoy my videos, it breaks my heart to think that some of you out there might waste your lives fucking around on the internet. And I don't want to see that. So I'm asking you this. I'm asking you to live your life, to go and meet people, to go and do things, to see whatever you can of the world. Get in your car and drive, hop on a train, go somewhere, experience things, connect with people, do things you haven't done before, see things you haven't seen, learn what you haven't learned. And I also want to ask you this. This is the second thing, is no matter what you do, I want you to do your best. I want you to become as great as you can be. And it is difficult. It's a lot easier to sit at home on your phone. It's a lot easier to sit at home and fuck around on TikTok all day long. But one day, 50 or 60 years from now, you're going to wake up and you're going to realize, oh shit, I've wasted my entire life and accomplished nothing, and I sat at home on social media and fucked around, and I've now have nothing. I've seen nothing. I have nothing. I have no one. And so I'm asking you guys to go out and live your lives and to be the absolute best that you can be. Look for challenges, improve yourselves, cultivate your soul. And I'm not saying that as a hypocrite, as, oh, I'm holier than thou and I'll tell you what to do. I'm trying to show you guys by example how I live my life. And every day I try to live my life with the goal of being a good man. I want to be the best person that I can possibly be. And that means to be a source of strength to other people, to be a source of support to other people, to be understanding, even if other people are just horrible, terrible to me, and they say terrible things. I will do whatever I can to be understanding of those people and try to understand them, and to still be supportive no matter what. And it's not nice for me to have to be online and see people who are going to waste their entire lives being miserable, fucking around on the internet. So I hope you understand the point of this video. I hope you've heard me. I'll do what I can to keep bringing you positive stuff and fun stuff. Once in a while, I do have to address industry issues. It's just part of my responsibilities now for the foreseeable future. So please go out and live your lives. Please be the best that you can be. Follow your dreams, even if it seems pointless and impossible. Go for it anyway. I was talking to my father figure on the phone the other day. Usually when I talk about him, I just say my dad. When I'm telling people about him, I say my dad. So I'm talking to my dad on the phone the other day. We had a good conversation, as we do, a lot of laughs, but he had said something at some point. And he said, well, even if you make a lot of mistakes, even if what you do ends up as a failure, you still have to try. Because if you don't try, then you'll never do anything. And I like that, because that's already how I've been living my life. And then later on in the phone conversation, he started talking about some of his own doubts and his worries, and I handed his advice right back to him, and it was very satisfying because it made him laugh. So that's what I've got. Please be well, take care. I'm focusing on my own work. I have a lot of things in life that I need to take care of. Thanks for checking in with me today. I thought it'd be good to just do videos like these once in a while, where we just check in and we're just people, and we're not trying to be entertaining or fun or funny. It's good to just check in and talk on a human level and just be ourselves. All right, everyone, take care. I'll see you around. Thank you. Thank you for joining in on the meeting today. Please feel free to find your seat. My name is Jarrell Dulay. The year is 2025. This is the year we take back the video games industry. Over the past few years, DEI initiatives have reshaped the games industry and entertainment media in general. Let's be very clear about what DEI is. It has nothing to do with actual diversity and equality. DEI does not care about people. It is a corporate scam designed to manipulate people's spending habits, to sabotage industries, and to use marginalized people as human shields by exploiting their sexuality and forcing them to throw themselves in front of criticism. The DEI initiatives mobilized extremists into a cult known as the woke, with a mantra built on identity supremacy, judging people based solely on their skin color, sexual identity, and politics. The woke has nothing to do with people who aren't straight, or skin color, or diversity or equality. Woke is a cult which sets out to destroy anyone and anything they dislike. All you have to do is look at their behavior online all around the world. They try to destroy people based on skin color and gender alone. DEI initiatives have dismantled entertainment industries, placing incompetent activists in positions of power. Game development companies hired based on gender, skin color, politics, and sexuality, and created hostile environments to kick out the actual talent, the actual people who built the games industry. The only thing DEI initiatives have accomplished is paint targets on the backs of marginalized people and fostered never-before-seen levels of resentment and fear toward those marginalized people. DEI has created a dangerous rift in the middle of our culture. It has damaged industries and people's livelihoods by placing incompetent activists in roles that should be filled by engineers, artists, writers, and people with actual talent and skill. My work in the past involved consulting for major companies at industry level. I conducted industry presentations and speeches and organized major industry events. I stepped away from industry level work to focus on running my own games development studio and creating my own games. But I have heard from thousands of people all around the world. My fellow gamers have been kicked out of their hobby, their passion, by activists and bullies. My fellow gamers have had their hopes stolen from them that the games industry will ever be good again. Now, more than ever, the games industry requires leadership, requires strength, and requires someone who understands other people. This is my official announcement that I will be resuming my industry-level work. I will be offering to speak at industry events. I will offer to deliver keynote speeches at industry level. I will provide my services as an educator, artist, game developer, and leader to the games industry. I will do this because it has been asked of me and it is what the industry needs. The year is 2025. This is the year we take back the video games industry. To my fellow gamers, if your hope was taken away, let me fight for you. I will get it back for you. This is not a fight one person can do on their own. We will have to do this together. We will have to remain calm, respectful, and we need to make sure to listen to other people, even if they are totally opposite to you. We will restore the games industry not by acting like children, not by canceling people we hate, but by being good people and leading by example. To the activists and bullies who have taken over the games industry, this is not a warning. This is not a threat. This is a notice of eviction. Pack up your things. We gave you a shot to make games and you failed on every single level. The games industry will no longer tolerate your incompetence. I was hoping we could handle the situation more gradually, but as the months roll by, I have grown wary of your tiresome, childish tantrums. It's time for the adults to take back control of the games industry. This is my announcement that the kid gloves are coming off. You came into my industry. I will no longer tolerate you setting out to burn down my industry. You wanted to play grown-up? Well, playtime is over. I will deal with you accordingly. To my fellow game developers out there, the real ones, you have been silenced for too long. You have been bullied for too long by activists who want to take things they did not earn and do not deserve. For too long, you have been told you are not allowed to speak out and defend your industry because of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Today, this is your call to action. Stand up. Defend your industry and speak out. Don't let bullies and children tell you how to make your games. Don't let a corporate scammer tell you what diversity is. Don't let some faceless entity turn you against your fellow man, your fellow gamers. My fellow game developers, you have my permission to stand up and fight back. I am here with you. We will win this, not because it's a fight, but because this is an eviction. The year is 2025, and this is the year we take back the video games industry. Thank you for listening. Gamers first.